Hello students, in this video we'll discuss about normal forms for context-free grammar and especially Chomsky normal form. So in the last video we have discussed how to eliminate the left recursion. Of course that will be useful only in the JNF, not in the CNF, right? So first, what are the types of normal forms? Why we have to go for the normal forms first of all? As I told you already in the last unit that if you want to convert a context-free grammar to push down a meta, make sure that the grammar must be either in CNF or in ZNF, Chomsky normal form or Greeback normal form. That's the reason we have to convert into any normal form. But make sure that if you want to convert into the normal form, the grammar must be minimized. Right? We'll discuss about those conditions in the next slide. So what is meant by Chomsky normal form? See, if a grammar is said to be, a grammar G is said to be in Chomsky normal form, if and only if every production is in the form of A tends to XY or A tends to A, means left hand side, of course, in every context free grammar only one non-terminal is allowed. Right hand side, either two non-terminals or a single terminal is allowed. That is mean Chomsky normal form. Two non-terminals or a single terminal. When it comes to Greeback normal form, so every production must be in the form of A tends to A n star, where n is the number of non-terminals. Means the left hand side anyway only one non-terminal, right hand side either a single terminal, right, like this is allowed, or a terminal followed by a single non-terminal is allowed, or a terminal followed by a two non-terminals allowed, or a terminal followed by a three non-terminal, or any number of non-terminals. So star is indicating what? 0 to infinite. So that is called GNF. So we'll discuss about this, how to convert a grammar to GNF in the next video. So in this video we'll mainly focus on CNF. So for CNF, if you want to convert into the CNF, as I told you, the grammar must be simplified or minimized. Means first eliminate all the epsilon productions from the grammar, unit productions and useless productions. Okay, eliminating this is completely your wish, but it's again redundant and will make you, right, converting more. While you're converting, you'll get more number of productions, but without these two we cannot do it anyway. For GNF, the extra qualification is left recursion. It should be even free from left recursion. Why? Because it will enter into the infinite loop. Okay, so as I told you, first we'll discuss about CNF. So every production must be in the form of like this, two non-terminals and RHS or a single terminal. Okay, so you can go with this B2. The two symbols must be non-terminals or a single terminal. Yes, whatever the rules we have taken, that is are listed here. Let me explain this. Guys, here we have a two-step process to convert any grammar to Chomsky normal form. So the step one, right? The step one is first identify all the, right, identify all terminals which are in wrong place. Identify all terminals which are in wrong place. Then, if so, replace terminal with the new non-terminal. Replace the terminal with new non-terminal. That's it. That's the first step. Second step, right? If RHS contains more than two non-terminals, because two non-terminals are allowed, right? Contains more than two non-terminals, then introduce, right? Then introduce new non-terminal for every two non-terminals. For every two non-terminal. Of course, I'll explain these two with the example whatever we have taken here. Let me write it. Okay. See, first identify the productions. S tends to AAD. Right. Just write down individually. S tends to AAD. No need to do it, but just for first purpose, right? AB, and A tends to BAB. So B tends to B, and D tends to D. See, in CNF, left hand side either two non-terminals or a single terminal is allowed. So this is not violating the rule. This is not violating the rule. But this is violating because either two non-terminals or single non-terminal. So not in CNF, not in CNF, not in CNF. Then as I told you what you are supposed to do first, identify the terminals which are in wrong place here. So the A is in wrong place, A is in wrong place and A is also in the wrong place. Because only terminal is allowed, terminal with other non-terminals is not allowed. Then what you can do, simply introduce a new non-terminal like S tends to X A D, where X tends to A. Then wherever you have the A, then replace it with the new non-terminal X. A tends to X B. Then A tends to, here B is in wrong place, then you can take B, Y A B. Okay, so what is Y here? A. Then we are already having B tends to B, D tends to D. That's it. So now all the check whether how many are already in the CNF. Now this is not in CNF, not in CNF, but this all are in CNF. Why these two are not in CNF? Because we are having three non-terminals. So apply the second step. If you're having more than two non-terminals, just simply introduce a new non-terminal for every two. So for these two, introduce P, but we have only one, just leave it. Already it is in CNF, don't worry about that. And for these two, again introduce a new non-terminal. Okay, then what we can write here, S tends to PD. So P tends to XA and X tends to A and A tends to XB and A tends to QB, where Q is nothing but YA, and you can take Y tends to A, B tends to D and D tends to D. That's it, you can take it, right? So this is C. Now all the 9 productions are in CNF, either two non-terminals or a single terminal. That's how it is going to be, right? And you don't need to worry about that. Generally, see, same, we got the 9 productions, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. They've used the different non-terminals. That's it. Okay, there is no rule that we should go with one way only. They have taken different things. You can cross verify the answer later, right? Or you can pause it and you can verify what is the problem, right? Let me go with one more example, guys. How to convert the Chomsky normal form, the grammar course, right? You can do it directly here only. So first step, what we have to do, identify the terminals which are in wrong place. Like only this is correct, but here you should not have this, this one and this, right? Okay, so then what we can do here, generally we have taken the same kind of problem, right? Okay, let me go with the answer here directly. So something you can just check it, introduce a new terminal C and D for 0 and 1. Let's just do it, right? Let me take a different one because same kind, right? Let me go with a different kind of problem. Right, let me write here. See, for example, S tends to AABB, or you can take like this, ABB, or sorry, just a minute. You can take BBB, something, right? Then A tends to AB or BA, and B tends to B. That's it. Okay, we have like this, or something you can take. What is the problem? BA, no problem. You take whatever you want. So now what you are supposed to do, first identify the terminals which are in wrong place. Here, see, only this is in GNF, this production. And this is not GNF, this is not GNF, this is not GNF, this is not in GNF, this is. So replace first, in the first step, replace all the terminals with the new non-terminals. Then what we can write, S tends to replace all the A's with the X. A, B's with the Y, B, or Y, B. All the terminals with the X and Y. Then A tends to X, Y, or BX. then you can take B tends to, B is already in it, then YA. So what is X here? A. What is Y here? B. Simple logic. Now we have again 3 non-terminals here. Okay, all these are in already in the CNF, no problem with this. But these two are not in CNF. Then what we can do? We can take this P XA and we can take this YB as Q. So already we have introduced YB as Q. Then you can write here Q only. What is the need? Don't introduce one more non-terminal for the YY. You do, nothing will be happened in our external exam. Nothing will be happened. You introduce. You may get some repeated question, repeated productions or extra productions, but that won't affect on your grammar. But I just utilize the existing non-terminal. That's it. You can write here PQ and S tends to YQ. Right? What is P here? XA. What is Q here? YB. Right? Then you can write the remaining all the productions as it is. A tends to XY. A tends to BX. B tends to B. B tends to YA. And X tends to A. Y tends to B. Check. All are in CNF language. So instead of taking the same redundant, just went with a different one. So what are the observations of Chomsky normal form? They are good for parsing and proving the theorems. If you want to prove some theorems like acceptance, membership, all, so that is somewhat easy, right? Compared to that, it is very easy to find the Chomsky normal form for any context-free grammar. You might have seen the rules, right? It is very easy. What are the only two rules we are having here? So replace all the terminals with a new non-terminal. First step, if they are not in valid productions. And second step, if you're having more than two non-terminals on the RHS, so replace every two non-terminals with the new non-terminal, right? If you want to use existing or new, that's completely your wish. There is no restriction. Okay, there is definitely no restriction. Now, the next video we'll discuss about Greeback normal form.